Interesting facts and data about the ASEAN region. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, is a geopolitical and economic organization consisting of 10 countries in the Southeast Asian region, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, and Vietnam. Founded on August 8, 1967, in Bangkok, Thailand, the 10 member countries of ASEAN are a major global force. Already 56 years old, ASEAN has achieved many international achievements and economic improvements that accelerate yearly. Here are some facts and data related to ASEAN that are interesting to know. Third largest population. Consisting of 10 countries in Southeast Asia, the total population in the ASEAN region will amount to 663.9 million people, 2021. It makes ASEAN the world's third largest population, or 8.4% of the world's population are ASEAN citizens. Indonesia is the most populous country in Southeast Asia. Another interesting fact is that over half of the ASEAN population is under 30. Area of the ASEAN region. The ASEAN region is large, covering 4.5 million square kilometers, or about 3% of the world's total land area. It is still a land area, while the water area of the ASEAN region is 3 times larger than the land area. Geographically, the ASEAN region borders China and the Pacific Ocean in the north, Papua New Guinea and the Pacific Ocean in the east, Australia and the Indian Ocean in the south, and India and the Indian Ocean in the west. Superior financial sector. Foreign direct investment, FDI, in the ASEAN region continues to grow. Based on 2021 data, the finance and insurance sector is the highest to receive foreign capital, namely 32%. The manufacturing sector follows this at 25.8%. Wholesale and retail trade. Motor vehicle components, 13.5%. Real estate at 4.6%. Communication and information, 4.2%. And other sectors, 19.9%. ASEAN's history. ASEAN's 50th Summit delegates from Southeast Asian nations gather at the 50th ASEAN Summit in Melbourne, March 2024. ASEAN's origins can be traced back to earlier regional organizations such as the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, SEATO, founded in 1954, and the Association of Southeast Asia, ASA, established in 1961. These early efforts, however, were limited in scope and membership. In 1967, ASEAN was established by Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Singapore with the signing of the ASEAN Declaration in Bangkok. The initial aim was to encourage regional cooperation and create a collective front against the spread of communism in Asia, reflecting the geopolitical concerns of the era. The organization gained a new level of cohesion in the mid-1970s following the Vietnam War. ASEAN's first summit meeting, held in Bali, Indonesia, in 1976, resulted in several significant agreements, including the signing of the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. The end of the Cold War and increased regional development and stability saw ASEAN expand its membership, incorporating Brunei, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia by the end of the 1990s. This period also marked a shift toward deeper economic integration, exemplified by the establishment of the ASEAN Free Trade Area, AFTA, in 1992 and the response to the 1997 Asian financial crisis with the Chiang Mai Agreement. Political security challenges. China's 9-line in the South China Sea map of the South China Sea, indicating China's 9-line in countries with territorial claims. The Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei. ASEAN faces multifaceted security challenges due to both internal dynamics and external pressures. An outstanding challenge is the bloc's lack of a unified stance on China. The escalating U.S.-China rivalry has heightened tensions in Southeast Asia, a region which has historically been a battleground for great power competition. China's assertive actions in the South China Sea have led to territorial disputes with several ASEAN members, with the Philippines and Vietnam in particular struggling with ongoing Chinese harassment of their vessels. China's Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) has drastically increased its influence, bringing significant infrastructural and economic development to ASEAN countries including Indonesia, Cambodia, and Laos, while also raising concerns about sovereignty and financial dependence. Some ASEAN countries, particularly Cambodia, have even supported China's territorial claims in the South China Sea and opposed joint ASEAN statements on the issue, pushing others, such as the Philippines and Vietnam, to strengthen ties with the U.S. and Japan. Amid growing tension over Taiwan, ASEAN, which has thus far adhered to the One China policy, yet relies on Taiwan for imports of electronic components, has expressed a willingness to mediate between Beijing and Taipei. As ASEAN has historically declined to involve itself in the issue of Taiwan's independence, this reflects the increasing severity of tensions. The conflict in Myanmar is another critical challenge for ASEAN and has proved difficult for the bloc to address uniformly since the 2021 military coup. With ASEAN as a whole taking no action, some member countries, particularly Thailand and Cambodia, have independently attempted mediation. In early 2024, Thai leaders engaged in talks with both the ruling junta and rebel leaders, and Cambodian Senate President Hun Sen made a request that the junta allow him to speak with imprisoned civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi, a request which was denied. Additionally, Thailand has increased humanitarian efforts along its 1,500-mile, 2,400-kilometer border with Myanmar, planning to establish a humanitarian safe zone. These independent actions reflect Cambodia and Thailand's growing disillusionment with ASEAN's inaction. ASEAN on the global stage. Relations between ASEAN and other countries are conducted through ASEAN+3, an annual meeting of ASEAN heads of state with the leaders of China, South Korea, and Japan. ASEAN+6, which includes ASEAN+3 in Australia, India, and New Zealand. And the East Asia Summit, a meeting of ASEAN+6 with Russia and the United States. ASEAN summit meetings have occurred semi-annually since the adoption of the ASEAN Charter, and the organization's agenda is overseen by a permanent secretariat based in Jakarta. The bloc's diplomatic style has been described as the ASEAN way, a method of decision-making that emphasizes non-interference, consensus, and personal, informal diplomacy, contributing to its growing influence and role as a major geopolitical entity. ASEAN has benefited enormously from Asia's rise as a global center of power and wealth. By balancing relationships with the US, China, India, and the European Union, ASEAN is geographically and politically well situated to continue its extraordinary trajectory as one of the world's fastest-growing trade blocs. As of 2023, ASEAN accounted for approximately 8% of global exports, putting it on par with the US. It is also central to two major free trade areas: the previously mentioned Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, and the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, which includes Canada, Chile, Mexico, and Peru, as well as Australia, Brunei, Japan, Malaysia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Vietnam. ASEAN also participates in global forums such as the United TO and Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, advocating for developing